Welcome back to Conversations with KD Hall. We are continuing the conversation with the Champions of Change and their new executive director. And we're going to have a little bit more of a conversation about how they plan to amplify the voices of their community partners.
I think, one, it's going to require a term that's called proximity, right? And I think what we've learned from these brothers, including Mike, is that they were proximate to the issues, right? They actually put themselves in a position, though they had to go to the VMAC and work, right, to prepare themselves for that game, right, and whatever off-season training they needed, but they were also proximate to the needs of community. And that right there, and you hear me talk about this all the time, there's the 3 Ps, pain, passion, and purpose, right? There was a pain that they experienced, and some of this was pain from their younger years, when they were younger, which then fueled the passion that they have today to see the change, which is the purpose. And so those things, that proximity, I think, is going to continue to be something we're going to have to focus on. Whether that's here in Seattle, or if we start to take this, regionally, or we start to move it nationally, right? Because these brothers aren't from Seattle. There's a need back in their hometowns that we can identify. But again, it's not about us coming in there and building something. It's working directly with that community to uplift and to create the sustainability and the bench depth, because that's sustainability. But it's going to require a lot of empathetic engagement. I think it's going to require active listening. So I think over the next 5 years, we still got to keep our ears to the pavement, right? We can't just think about programs. We're not going to program our way out of it, because there's a lot of systemic issues that we have to begin to address, and advocacy is going to be kind of a big component. But we still also provide a level of resource and funding, right, to support the Nickies of the world. Because again, we can't just always talk about Nicki when we talk about Dignities for Diva, right? What is the bench depth? Does Nicki have a disciple, right, that's coming through, an understudy that now she can then raise up, and now Nicki can move on to continue to build, the organization, right? Because right now, oftentimes, and that's the mantra, or that's kind of the model, I should say, in the culture of nonprofits, right? It's we get so caught up in the business, we can never work on it. And when I say Nicki, I'm speaking of all the Nickies who are executive directors, who are leaders. How do they get the support that they need to sustain their work? And again, if it's working for some people, how do we make it work for more?
Change it up a little bit. Y'all going deep on me. If you could have, and I want all of you to answer this question. I'll start here. If you could have any superpower, what superpower would you use to be able to increase philanthropy?
So I can't pick flying.
No,
that wouldn't fit.
Not for philanthropy.
No. Superpower to the most impactful process for me was going through therapy and somebody putting up a mirror to who I was and showing me all of the primal wounds, all the trauma, all the childhood wounds, and saying, this is why you were responding this way. So now let's deal with these wounds. I think I would love to be a mirror, and not only to the folks who have gone through lived experience and now are like trying to figure out, or trying to unpack all of that, right? But I also love to be a mirror to the folks who are the gatekeepers of this money, right? Like, look, this could be you. You've gone through situations where you needed support. You're doing the same thing by supporting these organizations that are supporting folks who would never see the support unless it was for this organization. I know you've heard me say this before. We're all humans on this rock that's spinning around the sun. We forget that. We forget how small we are in the grand scheme of things. But then also how connected we all are as an organism on this planet. And if we could see each other that way, maybe we'd have less problems on this planet.
Honestly, I think if I was able to do is give hope and put a smile on somebody's face. And what I mean, and why I choose that, because I think when you're hopeless, you're way worse than someone that has hope, because then you'll find a way. Right? You'll find a way, and you'll be accountable to self too. And then I say the smile as well, because if you have hope and you're like, now mentally you're prepared to take on anything, right? So we get the mirror, then we have hope, and we have smiles. I think it puts people in just a better space to be able to one, be accountable to self, but then also work towards bettering themselves, and then they'll start working towards bettering others. So I would start off with those two, and I hope that works.
Yeah, that's good. No, you did.
Good luck.
You in trouble, man. You're in trouble.
He's gonna have something great too, though.
Oh yeah, he got us on his
No pressure.
earlier this week.
So I'm a visionary, right? That's just a part of, but I think what what superpower I would desire is shared vision. And I think what oftentimes the visionary is not always called to carry out the vision, but it's how we share that vision. And if we can get more philanthropies to share a vision on how we can fund, how we can structure services, provisions, but also how we look at system reform, because it's the both ends. And I think that's the missional tension that we deal with. It's we want reform in systems, but yet we also want provisions, right? We still got to have services. And it's not the either or, but I think we often get into this mindset of it's either you take this reform or you take these services. You can't have both. We need both. And that's going to require a shared vision that allows us all to kind of see and focus on a common North Star related to how funding is distributed. But it also has to look at all aspects. And I think when you talk about mental health, right, play becomes a significant component, and it's about movement. And I think oftentimes we don't spend enough resources and allocations around how recess is a key component, how nutrition in schools, nutrition within, athletics, how that plays a factor. And so how do we all have a common understanding of where we want to go? That's going to be probably the greatest gift and blessing we can have is when we all have shared vision.
I want to thank you. Thank you for watching, joining us again. Champions of Change, I want to thank them as well for sitting down with us with this extended conversation about the work that they're doing.
Your talent on the field isn't your only purpose that you can have in life. I think there's a message and a platform that we all share, and what we could do with that platform is beyond scoring touchdowns and beyond running plays. It's like, how do we build bridges to communities and break walls down and turn those walls into bridges? It's making something that can last beyond us.
We are surrounded by greatness.
And also the basketball game that's coming up in June. I don't know about you, but I plan to be there. And we're gonna have another opportunity to speak with them about that game as well. So make sure you continue to watch.
That was nice, Doug. That was nice.
In our next episode, we get a chance to meet with another new champion of change, their former teammate, KJ Wright.
And you talk about someone that just poured life into me, someone that believed in me, someone that inspired me.
He's gonna talk to us a little bit about what it was like to get that phone call from the 49ers to be one of the coaches. All right, we'll catch you all on Conversations with Katie Hall the next time.
Hey, what's going on? This is Champions of Change.
June 28th at Climate Pledge Arena. Be there.
We'll tell you about it when you tune in to Conversation with Katie Hall. Let's run that back.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. So I don't have to say Conversations with Katie Hall, right? Chris, I know you and your bloopers.
Hey, what's going on? This is Champions of Change.
June 28th at Climate Pledge Arena. Be there.
We'll tell you about it when you tune in to Conversations with Katie Hall.
Boom, let's go.
Hey, you were nervous though. You almost messed it up.
Almost. Tequila.
Today we're giving you a very special episode with some of our champions across Washington. I don't like it. I don't like it. Okay.
Yeah.
Talk with KD. Just talk to her.
And then Isaiah, late in the game, told us that he was going to be able to come and join us.
But whose pick was it?
It was not his pick.
But somehow I ended up getting him. There's no way you let that slide.
Like, Isaiah just showed up and then he put a jersey on him for his team.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, what? Anyways, point being is that we're gonna have a great time June 28th.